Warning, the following video will contain a lot of the S word. Scalar. Ugh. Welcome back to the Scale Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. Today we're taking a first look, run, and review of the new FMS 1983 Toyota Hilux Scalar. And here it is. Scalar's on the box. It's not my choice. It's just one of those colloquialisms that I just don't care for. Doesn't matter. Here's a great looking 1983 Toyota Hilux hardbody 18th scale RC. If you have seen the Chevy K10, that's hiding back there. If you've seen that one before, this is going to be exactly the same running gear, exactly the same chassis, exactly the same springs, wheels, tires, motor, servo. All of that layout is exactly the same. In fact, even the radio is the same radio that comes with that truck. But it's a very nice radio, and we'll talk about this radio more in detail in a little bit. But this is a new hardbody, 18th scale, very realistic Toyota body. FMS spared no expense on the exterior details. You get these nice running boards, you get a nice big plastic front bumper, nice looking grille, European license plate, still left-hand drive. Full-ish interior. It's a good-looking interior. Lots of nice little details on the dashboard and the steering wheel. Seats are pretty decently molded, but there's no inner door portion. It's just raw plastic in there. So a bit of a letdown in that regard. And doors don't open, so you can't get into that interior anyway. You'd have to take it all apart to get a driver in there. If you could even find a driver of this size, 18th scale is a bit of a harder one to find, but not impossible for sure. Nice exterior molded details, all the correct lines, and unlike some other larger scale Toyota bodies, this one is pretty accurate to the real thing. As far as I know, pardon my noob, told me that this is actually a long bed and Japanese spec, not the same type that you would get in North America, so very cool to see that. It is totally licensed. There is a Toyota badge on the back of the tailgate, which opens, which is kind of a nice little feature. There is a full light kit and some nice decals to go with it. They didn't bother to trim the decals around any of the actual like panel lines or door jams or anything, so maybe take an X-Acto and clean those up if you're going to keep this. What else? We've got these nice side view mirrors, which look pretty good, door handles, and wipers as well. Toyota badging on the front grille, which is a nice little touch as well, and a warm white headlight, which would be completely accurate for the time that this vehicle existed. If you throw this truck into reverse, you get reverse lights. With that opening tailgate, you also get an opening bonnet or hood. No engine details, just inner fenders and electronics under there. Battery slots in right back there. So tight fit, but plenty of room for the batteries that are included. You get these nice little LiPo batteries, 380 milliamp batteries, 7.4 volts. Nice enough to get yourself around on the trails for a few minutes, which is pretty decent. All right, what else can we say? Well, the cab appears to be painted, and it might just be my model, but it doesn't look as if the bed was painted in the same color or the same thickness of paint. It is quite a thin mold, so you can actually see your shadow of your finger through it as you run it across. It probably could use a couple more coats, if I'm honest. These are the same Cooper Discoverer licensed tires that were on the Chevy K10. But on a Toyota, they should be a 5-lug. That's a bit of a scale mistake, one that I can certainly forgive. But I don't know. I don't know that the chrome 8 holes look all that great on this truck. I think I may actually try to swap those out in the future. Plenty of spring rate. It's actually quite a firm suspension, so you get a bit of that bounce. So, you know, it's not going to be a true rock crawler in terms of its performance. But there are a couple of speeds as well. There is like a crawler training speed, which I actually quite liked, and then a higher speed using this switch here, channel 4/train. It gets into more of a youth or child mode that is actually much slower. It's like 50% throttle, and I actually kind of like that better. A little more realistic driving experience. That said, driving experience is, you know, what to be expected. It's 18th scale, it's not a crawler, it's got a long wheelbase, and these running boards do certainly get in the way, as well as this front bumper. So it's really more of a trail truck, if anything. I'd like to consider, much like I considered the Kuba wagon, more of a model first and an RC second. The running gear isn't super fantastic. It will get you from point A to point B eventually, but it certainly isn't as good as its 12th scale brethren, like the Jimny that's hiding back here. Certainly this is a little bit more of a performance-oriented but realistic model truck. Definitely performs within the scope of what you would expect for this vehicle stock. And I guess the same could be said for this. It's not a rock crawler by any means. It's more of, like I said, a trail truck. A good-looking trail truck, I won't deny that. But it certainly isn't going to crawl or be a performance-oriented truck. And with that in mind, I'm probably going to take mine, change out these wheels and tires for something a little less aggressive, and maybe go for sort of a landscaper truck. Sort of go for a landscaper-themed vehicle. We'll come up with something. It'll be fun. Yeah, so there you go. Some nice details on here for sure, and certainly a cool model to have in the collection if you are a Toyota fan. Otherwise, maybe the Chevy's the right one for you. So there you go. Let's take a quick look at the radio. Nice radio. Good looking radio in the hand. Foam wheel on there, so a little more premium look. And it also has lights, of all things, on the front there, and kind of looks like a Lamborghini or something. I don't know. Good looking model, certainly worth a look if you are a Toyota enthusiast and you want to get into more of the detailed modeling aspects of this hobby. This might be a good place to start and a good place to experiment. Have some fun with that. So there you go. FMS 1983 Toyota Hilux. Is this something you're going to add to your collection? Do you like seeing reviews like this? If you do, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you get updates anytime there's a new video from the Scale Builders Guild. Thanks a lot to FMS for sending this my way. We'll see you again soon. Happy New Year!